It's time for some pain. No, Scarlet, that is the way it works as far as I'm well aware, right? Because they, like... I don't know, actually. I don't know if you can do that at fives. I think you can do that at fives. Okay. Yep. Esteso's got the info. Okay. Chat. The pain is not over. Right? The pain is far from over. It's only just begun. We have finished surviving Lusum. And, well, anytime Liv is involved, unfortunately, Kuroda Games decides to treat my queen like a fucking punching bag, even though she's not. And it hurts. It hurts, chat. It hurts so much. Oh boy. Let's get into it. And then there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed in the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Light pierces through the heavy, impermeable clouds. Birds rise above the empty church as a sudden gust blows across. The gust soon grows into a gale that catches the attention of every living thing, from crouching humans to fighting constructs. Even the creatures who were bred from the red tide have paused their slaughter. They all look at the light. From the light, she descends. She's here. She first sees with her eyes, then feels the punishing virus within her frame. The virus is floating in the air and is also present in the mind of constructs and the data within the red tide. The virus is entangled with infinite noisy data. When she feels it, she also feels the agony and scream of 1,000 souls. Thousands of souls. Sorry, chat. She waves the scepter, letting the punishing virus rush into her mind, along with all her painful emotions. Her mind is immediately overwhelmed by the data torrent, but also infinitely extended. She floats in space. Every satellite, every strain of the virus serves as her eyes. She is everywhere. Her actions are no longer guided by her mind and memory, but by a duty-like instinct instead. With her specialized frame running at an extremely high frequency, her body became more brilliant each time she waves her scepter. If the punishing virus is visualized, one may witness millions of the viruses form a tide in the air, rushing toward her like moths to a flame. She stands in the sky like a goddess to the sea, while the tide of the punishing surrounds her, engulfs her, then eventually disappears in her light. The crimson virus sweeps across her mind. They're making me look at her be stabbed again. Oh my god. I knew the pain was far from over. Agony, despair, remorse. That's the feelings I get looking at this picture. Almost all the emotions and memories that the virus has ever caused on this planet have flooded in like a furious roar from the abyss, along with the distortion caused by the corrupted data. They turn into thorns that spread across her mind, piercing into her heart like stakes. Vital fluid surges from her chest. As her artificial heart continues to beat, more fluid comes out of her mouth and nose. She cannot tell whether it's vital fluid or the red tide. Her vision starts to fade, but her consciousness is well awake. Unable to move, she can only wait for an ending, like an angel crucified on rusty thorns. This is painful to read. She takes in all the information too hastily and feels like she's drowned in the river of eternity. Every thorn spike carries multiple memories. All are transmitted to her with an instant. Countless lives are displayed in front of her. Memory data that belongs to different souls related or unrelated to the punishing virus has occupied her mind. The chest of a construct is penetrated by a corrupted that was once her friend. A wandering scavenger jumps into the red tide to respond to his love inside a smoking forest. A lost child hugs a heterosapien who keeps calling him while piercing his body with its arm. Every second is split into 1,000 milliseconds. Every millisecond is split into 1,000 microseconds. She witnesses multiple lives within every unit of time. She stays with every soul on Earth. Liv looks up. As her vision blurs, she sees a color other than red that devours the sky. A gray bird flutters and stops on a branch nearby. It tilts its head. Unlike the other distorted data in her mind, this bird feels like a living creature from the real world that accidentally ended up here. She cannot tell the breed of bird. Suddenly it chirps and flaps its wings, pulling her into a data stream. A magpie lands on a bush, but soon flies away as a hand waves. I bend down to pick up a hairband left on the grass. I let out a sigh, then shout out loud. My young lady, where are you? A little head pops out of the bush. Callie. I walk over and see her sitting on the lawn, digging the soil with a mini shovel. I squat down and take out my handkerchief to wipe the mud on her cheeks. That's adorable, chap. That's adorable. Absolutely adorable. Honeysuckles. She answers in a serious manner. Because winter is over, I want to plant honeysuckles all over this place to celebrate the passing of winter. Time to come home. Dinner's ready. Don't make Calliope look for you in the garden every time. She immediately gets up, hearing the mistress's voice. I quickly put the hairband on her so the master won't rant about the importance of being presentable. I forgot to check the time again. Thanks, Callie. Thanks to the mistress's teaching, she's always very polite. I can't help but pat her head, seeing her shy smile. My young lady, you should go eat now. I will keep watch the sprouts and make sure they aren't eaten by the sheep. Is that okay? She's a little hesitant. But I want Callie to eat together with us. If Belle eats my flower, I will take her dinner away. The young mistress loves gardening, so the mistress lets her grow all sorts of plants in the back garden. Belle is the name of the sheep we saw in the market. It was going to be slaughtered, but the young mistress begged me to bring it back. The mistress let her keep the sheep in the garden. Somehow I feel like my life is similar to this old sheep's. My grandmother was a believer. She disregarded the advanced technologies and bionic machines and believed a devoted heart would prevail. Over time, our family fell behind the world, but she held on to the pride the family had at the very end. Still, piety alone could not save a large family on the brink of collapse. After losing our home, we began wandering. I could not even find a job in a world full of amazing machines that I could hardly imagine. Nobody wanted to hire a person with zero knowledge about modern technologies. Machines may replace human labor, but they will never replace beautiful souls. My mother used to say this to me a lot. I think I met one with a beautiful soul. A few months ago, I was desperate in the bleak winter. Mistress saw me in the market and took me home. She offered me a job as a maid in the mansion. Despite not using cutting-edge technologies, the mansion is well decorated like a preserved time capsule from many years ago. Sometimes I even had the feeling that my religious grandmother would come out of the room all of a sudden, calling me by my nickname. But when I cast the illusions off, I always see a mistress smiling instead of the family member that I remember. Callie? You say it every time. I take her hand and walk toward the mistress. I really mean it this time. Belle, don't eat at my flowers. Belle responds with a long bow, and I chuckle. Mistress is wearing an elegant dress, smiling at us outside the garden. The spring sun shines upon her long silver hair, giving a soft and warm reflection. I realize that spring has come. The young mistress is crying on the grass when I find her. My young lady, what is happening? Under the moon, I see her struggling to hug Belle with her arms open. She has tears in her eyes and has to bite her lips to not cry out.
Atomic.
Yo, thanks for the follow, Lisa Bennett. Bad girl, stop it. Wait, what? I rush over and realize Belle is chewing her hair. Her face turns red from the pain, but she stays still as the sheep mistakes her hair for hay. Bad girl, stop it. Okay, that makes sense. I quickly force the sheep to let go and shoo it away. Why didn't you call out me? But Belle has not eaten anything for 2 days. Will she get better if she eats my hair? No. That's not how that works. She rubs her eyes and I see tears running down her cheeks. I don't know what to say. Belle is too long in the tooth. Most animals lose appetite in the hot summer. Why would an old sheep be any different? She has been very worried and keeping it company over the past few days. But how can I explain life and death to a kid of her age? All I can do is wipe her tears in silence. Belle is just tired. It's preparing for a new journey. It just needs some good rest. A new journey? Where's she going? Is she going to leave me? It can't stay in one place forever, my young lady. It's late now. Mistress would be worried if she can't find you. Can we go back first? Is Mother awake? She lets go of her hands, tears still on her lashes. She starts to ask about her mother. Why is she always sleeping? Is she very tired? She's been exhausted. She also needs to rest. That's all I can say to her. But Mistress is awake now. She misses you a lot and wants to see you. The medics in her room are probably gone by now. I miss her too. I want to ask what to do when Belle doesn't eat. I'm sure she knows. She becomes motivated again. Without a word, I take her hands, but deep in my heart, I am praying. Dear God, I devote my life to serving you. Please treat these kind people nicely. How I wish the world can be restored to its former shape before the summer ends. Yeah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. The grievous news arrives on a gloomy autumn day. Are they really gonna play Narwhal? Okay. Mistress was a fighter. She stayed with us for several summers, but nobody thought she'd be taken by an accident instead of the sickness. When I rush to the hospital, I see Master sitting on a bench in the corridor, pulling his hair in anger and pain. Their marriage wasn't filled with a fiery passion, but I know they much loved each other after witnessing it for so many years. I know what happened when I see his face in tears. I feel dizzy as pain grips my heart. Struggling to hold my grief, I stagger inside the ward. The young mistress is sitting there, holding the mistress' pale, slim hands covered under a white cloth. The hands that took me out of winter, but left me in autumn. The pain is excruciating. I have to gather all my strength to not cry my heart out. But another more excruciating pain strikes me the moment I see the young mistress's face. I have never seen her so helpless. She tightens her grip on her mother's hand for one instant, then gives up as if she wants to wake her up, but does not want to interrupt her sleep. She opens her mouth slightly, pale lips trembling. I see dry tear stains under her eyes. This child has lost her soul and does not know what to do for the rest of her life. I only find out later that the mistress lost her life in an accident on the way to the hospital when she tried to protect her daughter. I cannot imagine what impact it could have on this kind, innocent child who loves her mother so deeply. Just thinking about it, it kills me inside. The young mistress hears the noises I make. She turns around and sees me. She looks lost. Callie. I see her mouth move as if she's about to burst into tears, but she holds it back and bites her lips instead. God, please bless this girl. She is unfortunate, yet so strong. She finally manages to ask me a question after a short pause. I hear her voice trembling. Is Mother not gonna wake up again, just like Belle? I burst into tears and almost begin to hate myself for not being able to do anything. I cry so hard that I cannot talk properly, but she seems to learn the truth anyway. She lowers her head, her hands clenching the white bedsheet hard. Callie, sorry I couldn't take care of Mother. She wipes her eyes with her sleeve, sobbing. No, don't say that. No way this was your fault. I'm so shocked by her words and immediately argue back. Still sobbing, she looks up at me and forces herself to put up a smile. Sorry, Callie. I'll take good care of you and Father. The sorrow in her words, along with her fear that I would also leave one day, makes me speechless. In the name of God, I will never leave you. I want to make 1,000 promises. I want to walk up and hug her, so she can let down her guard and cry it all out. But somehow I see the mistress and her miserable smile through my vision blurred by tears. This is a interesting POV. I don't know if it's an illusion or if God really has heard my prayer. I see Mistress again. This great, beautiful lady descends into the ward, as kind and brilliant as when I first met her. Smiling, she puts her arm around the young mistress and kisses her on the forehead. She then disappears in the air as if she had never been here. The young mistress used to have so many quirky dreams. She wanted to become a forest ranger, open a flower shop that keeps all sorts of animals, or be a shepherd that helps soak sheep stand up after the rain. She never talks about them again. The master has a family business to pass down. The mistress, who used to kindly preserve her naive dreams, is no longer around. She starts to read books in her room all day and night. I had a vague feeling that the death of Mistress has given her a new direction. The master, on the other hand, becomes more depressed after losing his wife and locks himself in the study immediately after work. In the beginning, the three of us were still eating at the same table together, but such occasions have become increasingly rare as he is busy with work. The young mistress seems to be troubled by guilt. She asked me to teach her some common dishes, and she would try her best to cook them and awkwardly take them to our father's study. But the response she gets is no different from what I always had. Just leave it there. I want to tell her that none of this is her fault. She should never blame herself. But when I see her beautiful and loving eyes, they remind me of her mother. I know I cannot change anything. I can only do my best to make her life more comfortable. I suggest her to write letters to the mistress. It does make her happier, and I'm glad it works. But as time goes, things are not getting better. When winter falls, the chill seems to also have impacted the mansion. It starts snowing early in the morning. The young mistress has not seen snow for a while, so I woke up early and take her to the garden. I finally see her innocent smile once again. But Master summons me to his study. He stammers with an embarrassed look, telling me that he wants to order the most advanced management AI. I have a bad feeling about it. Sir, you do not need to pay me. I just want to stay here and look after you and the young mistress. We can't stay in the old days forever. Science has changed the world. But you liked it that way when Mistress was around, didn't you? I panic and speak without thinking, but soon realize the mistake when his face darkens. I'm sorry, sir. I'm just concerned about you and the young mistress. We're fine now. Besides, we need some time of our own. The master keeps looking away. It suddenly comes to my mind that he has been coming home late recently. I then recall the grayish-brown hair that I often found in his laundry, along with other signs. I understand what he's trying to say. I see. I look outside and see the young mistress making the shape of a sheep in the snow of the garden. How I miss her smile. Belle was buried right there. The mistress and young mistress made her tombstone. I guess it's my time to embark on a new journey. Sir, she is a good young lady. I can't think of anything more intelligent to say. Please take care of her. The master seemed relieved and nods with a smile. Seeing him recover from the death of his wife is the only thing that can make me feel slightly better. I will, thank you, Calliope. It's been many years. Sorry, my young lady. I have failed to keep my promise, but as long as you and Master can live on happily, I return to the winter that I came from. I find a casual job not far from the mansion. The pay is far from decent, but I'm still concerned about the young mistress, and I want to be able to go back occasionally. Life is never easy for ordinary people. Another season has passed when I finally settled in. One spring morning, I find the honeysuckles along the street blossoming on my way to work. The memory of the young mistress hits me so hard that I put down all the tools and rush through the entire neighborhood, heading towards her home. I just want to see her from afar. I wonder how she's doing. Has her winter passed? The sun is high in the sky when I finally arrive outside the mansion. I wait anxiously, hoping to see her through the fences of the garden. Thank goodness I don't have to wait too long. I almost shout in excitement when I see her walk into the garden with a pot in her hands. Oh my, the young mistress. She has lost so much weight. Sorrow grips my heart once again. I want to take her hand, wipe the mud off her face, and give her a warm hug. Who doesn't want to give Liv a hug, right, chat? Who doesn't? She no longer skips around. Her hairband is tied up properly. It's only been a few months, but I feel like she's grown up much. The innocent child is gone. I gaze at the young mistress, trying to remember everything about her at this very moment, but I must not let her see me, for she would blame herself again after seeing me in dire straits. I told her I received a better job offer when I left. She squats down next to her garden bed and starts digging with the same old mini shovel. I realize the garden has been renovated. All the flowers that she once grew are now gone, replaced by neat green foliage and automatic robot gardeners. She continues to dig the soil. Her face looks as serious as before, but there's no longer mud on it. I watch her move honeysuckle from a pot to the garden bed. Hey, is breakfast ready? A girl that I have never met shows up in the window on the second floor. The young mistress looks up, slightly nervous. Yes, it's in the kitchen. Father starts work early today, so I only cooked for 3 people. Why are you still digging in the mud? We're going to eat first. Her face flushes red. Sure, sister, you can have it first. The window is slammed shut. I am beyond shocked. There are so many questions I want to ask. Why does the young mistress have to make breakfast? Who is that girl? She lowers her head and continues planting the seedling. She looks lonely and saddened. Bro, this is fucked up. You're making me relive Liv Eclipse's interlude, but from another perspective. Oh, fuck. But what can I do? Confront the master of the mansion when I'm no longer a part of it? Unable to do anything, I feel suffocated by the sense of guilt. I spend hours wandering outside the fence, but I cannot gather the courage to step into the mansion. Ever since that day, I have not stopped regretting that I did not talk to the young mistress. Every time I see her lonely look in my dream, I feel the urge to see her in person, but I never get to meet her again. The letters I sent to the master were never given replies. After a few years, I finally settled down and opened a flower shop. It doesn't make a lot of money, but enough to keep myself fed. I never heard anything from the young mistress, still haunted by the guilt and uncertainty. I rarely go back to look for her again. Maybe she's already found her new family and friends. Maybe it's all just my misunderstanding. Still, I put her favorite flowers in the window on the day my shop opens, hoping that one day she may come by. Life is finally getting better. I am already looking forward to a day I can go back and visit her, but doomsday comes soon after. All I know about punishing is a virus can turn the machines we see every day into ruthless killers. All residents have fled the city. Machines are scrapped, abandoned on the streets. Government announcements are looped on screens. My flower shop looks like a god's joke. I believe the master will protect the young mistress. I can only think that way. Spoiler alert, he doesn't. He's a piece of shit father who deserves to be burned. I go to her mansion one last time when I pack up my bags and prepare to head to shelter. From a distance, I see a military vehicle driving past the gate. Are they here to protect her? She will be fine. I gaze at the now desolate garden. It was nothing like what I remember. Finally, I find the honeysuckle that the young mistress planted many years ago. It is completely dried up on the gray soil and looks more like a piece of a specimen. A white dove lands next to it that chirps and flies away. I have lost all sense of time in the wandering journey. Pain and suffering in the post-apocalyptic world have turned me into a numb and dull walking dead. My only memories can remind me of my life in the past as a human. When I was a human, I could endure the pain. But in a world of the punishing virus, we are no longer humans, but animals that would do anything just to live another day. Can I really see my loved ones here? That's the first thing that comes to my mind when the red tide devours my camp. When the scavengers scream and run, I only close my eyes, waiting for miracles to happen. I don't know if it's an illusion or if God has actually descended. I feel like I've seen the mistress. I cannot see her face, but she gently puts her arms around me like an angel. I open my arms and embrace her. This is my final relief. But when I see the angel's face, I know it must be a miracle, for she is not the mistress, but a grown-up young mistress. I know somewhere in the world she must have become the person she always wants to be. I shed happy tears at the last moment of my life. Oh boy. Oh boy. And that's just the opening act. Men of Galilee, they say. Why do you stand here looking into the sky? This same Jesus who has taken you into heaven will come back in the same way you have seen him go into heaven. A chirping white dove ascends from the thorns, taking Liv back from the painful memory. It flaps its wings, but ends up getting caught in the crimson punishing waves. Here we go again. More volatile emotions flow in among the memory data, and more spikes pierce through Liv's body. The moment a memory block is filtered, thousands more will enter her mind. She becomes a vessel of every living thing in the world. God never showed any mercy to those struggling lives. Black tears run down Liv's cheeks as millions of howling, miserable souls emerge from her body. But Liv cannot stop. She only waves the scepter to bring more punishing into her mind. She then takes in everyone's pain equally, is crucified to death, then resurrects it again. The cycle continues. When her mind is almost inundated by the never-ending punishing waves, the dove suddenly breaks away. Another data connects to Liv as the blood-soaked dove screeches. The four-wheel drive suddenly brakes hard, throwing my body forward. My broken arm squeaks and sparks as I push with it. The medic sitting next to me flinches. He looks disarrayed and shocked. She looks familiar. What are you doing? Swearing out loud, I twist the half-broken mechanical arm back and look at the driver. Oops, sorry, Yelena. A bird suddenly hit my window. I see the wiper push aside the blood-soaked corpse of a pigeon, leaving stains on the windscreen. Pigeons are a symbol of good news. A dead pigeon can't be good. When's your arc coming, huh? The world is gonna end. Just keep going. The earlier we arrive, the sooner we can get the supplies. I stopped Charlo's ranting. He barely survived the last battle, but lost both legs. But is now extremely grumpy. Yeah, I'd be grumpy too if I lost both my legs. I don't want him to hurt the feelings of my only medic left. I still need him to take care of the other dozens of human soldiers on my team. The vehicle starts running again. It's all quiet in the cabin except for the occasional moaning of wounded soldiers. After a few hours, we finally arrive at the nearest camp from the battlefield. Only the medic and a few soldiers remain unhurt from the terrible drive. I jump out of the vehicle and ask for a few sentinels to help. Someone's wounded. Medic. The soldier turns to the camp and shouts, "Where's your commander?" A man with scars and a rank slide comes at me and nods. I contacted him when my squad retreated from the front line. According to the order I received from the world government, I need to regroup here and help him do some training if possible. This guy looks intense. Bill, Lieutenant, greetings, Officer Yelena. Your supplies are all ready. We are short of medics at the front line, so I'm hoping that you can give ours a little training. They don't have a lot of combat experience. He pauses when he sees the sparks on my arm. Your arm. The world government sent you a special medical packs in advance, didn't it? That will work for me. He continues to gaze at me with suspicion, trying to find the difference between me and normal humans. Machines like me, or using the proper name, constructs, are yet to be deployed on a large scale. I'm not surprised at his attitude. Alright, I'll send someone to get it for you. He walks away with an arm hung in a sling. I look around the camp in boredom. Many young soldiers, obviously rookies, are sneaking at me like high school students. A few medics are standing around the wounded soldiers, giving them morphine and antibiotics in a spin. Back in the golden age, they were still kids. Now they have to protect their homeland in doomsday. A white-haired medic catches my attention. Unlike her panicking peers, she just half kneels next to Charlo's, the guy who lost his legs, bed, holding his hand. Charlo looks furious and is screaming in despair. Someone must have touched his nerve again. He's the worst type of patient to medics, at least to me. If it's me, I would probably punch him in the face just to shut him up. I like this guy. Yo, if this is that one chick, I like her. That's a good way to shut people up, is just knock them the fuck out. We're always short in time of war. I don't need negative emotions to remind me how screwed up the world is. The medic does not touch his wounds, but hold his hand instead. She seems to be calming him down with gentle words. Like a pediatrician, she is soothing Charlo's emotions with a kind smile and great patience. I can't hear what she is saying, but Charlo does calm down. The man sobs like a child before his mother, giving the medic a chance to inject a tranquilizer. Her action is gentle and firm, but way too slow. Out of giving her a dressing down for the days where she my student, she must have never been to the front line. She takes a long time to treat Charlo. I could have treated 5 soldiers in that time, then stands up and looks at another wounded with visible compassion. Surprised, I even begin to think that she is a believer. I have seen many soldiers with faith, but never one with such a kind and gentle expression. The emotions I see are usually anxiety, grief, despair, or indifference. Excuse me, ma'am. Lieutenant asked me to deliver this medical pack. A gloomy-faced soldier interrupts my thoughts. He can't even finish his sentence without stuttering. I take the medical pack, hoping they don't give this guy to me in the training. Well, gloomy face and the frail medic both end up on my team. Lucky me. It's hard for me not to remember them, for they are always the worst performer in every training class of mine. To be fair, the medic isn't that bad. She passes most courses adequately and is quite smart. The only problem is the medic course. Though she pays great attention to details, she is way too slow. Besides, her fitness and shooting scores are atrocious. Just a tad better than Gloomy Face. By the time she finishes running 10 laps, all the other soldiers have finished their training and lunch. Every time when Gloomy Face is already half dead and lying on his back, she just keeps running with a pale face and blue lips, as if she can pass away any second. She's probably a princess who rarely did exercise before the war. I asked her to train her endurance first. I don't want her to drop dead halfway. 3.2. A soldier who is shouting out the results of the precision shooting exercise. The medic is standing straight with her lips pursed. I wish her results were half as good as her seriousness. Yarha. Ugh. Probably a miss. He's been looking everywhere for the bullet hole. Out. Gloomy Face looks at me embarrassed. There's appeal in his eyes. Don't give me that look. I'm not the one who will kill you on the battlefield. Maybe you can start practicing how to beg those corrupted for mercy. There's a scattered laughter from the soldiers. I raise my voice. You think you're good, huh? Show me. Does anyone fancy a freestyle fight? Perhaps my steel arms are too much of a deterrence. All the soldiers look down. Nobody dares to reply. I can't believe we have to rely on you cowards to save Earth. Don't you know what you have on your shoulders? You are soldiers. And you better start fucking acting like one. I stride along the line, staring at every one of them. Squad 18 needs a break, and you will head to the front line next. Have you not seen those soldiers? Most of them still keep their heads down, too afraid to look me in the eye. I lost 23 soldiers from one base. Have you seen what the survivors look like? Guess what? They're going back to the battlefield with you. They lost their arms and legs there, but they never put down their weapons. Some crawled and held grenades in their mouths. They're still going back to that hell they almost claimed their lives. 1, 2, 3, or 4 times. We go back as long as we are not dead, because that's what soldiers do. Some soldiers look away in shame. Some look up and stare into the distance. Only that medic gazes at me as if she has something to say. But what are you doing here? Ask yourself, do you deserve this uniform? I don't care why you came here, but if you're here, you've got to toughen up. Our homeland, our Earth, our family, and our friends are behind us. We protect them with our life and blood. Who else can stand out if we shrink back? Who else can keep fighting if we give up? I remember every single soldier I lost on my team. Their looks, their names, what they like to do, and the lives they have lived. I take pride in them. They die with honor. I shouldn't let it happen, but I think my voice is shaking a bit. This is the first time I ever talk about my soldiers after that meat grinder battle. I hope you can also make me proud. I wave them off and walk away without looking back. Later in the night, the medic comes to me when I'm doing maintenance of my frame in my room. Officer Yelena, sorry to disturb you so late. She stammers and blushes, almost making me feel that she has a crush on me. Heh. No, she's just nervous. What is it? I'm the medic of Squad 6. Can I ask you a few questions? Say it. My training results aren't very good. I'm worried that I can't help the soldiers with my performance. This really troubles me. She is shy but genuine. I look her in the eye and can feel that she is seriously concerned. I know it's not nice to disturb you in your personal time, but I really hope you could show me how I can do more. I was thinking she wanted to talk about the fear of death or ask if she could go home. I have realized a mistake, and I respect her resolution. I immediately changed my attitude. Just follow the training schedule and do your best. Everyone has different physical conditions. Passing the military service requirements only means you have met the basic standards, not that you're great at fighting. I see, but officer. She lowers her head. I sense sorrow in her voice. I know where you're heading to the front line soon. I won't have much time to improve. It's my fault for not working hard enough. She seems to have struggled a lot on the inside. When she finally looks at me again, I see her determination. The wounded soldiers you brought back. I have never seen anything so horrifying and tragic. I think I'm not good enough for the real battlefield, so I'd like to do something. I want to do anything as long as it helps our battle. I think for a while. I see. Your biggest problem right now is a lack of experience. Your stamina, overall combat abilities, and reflex are also subpar. Is that so? Sorry. I watched your training. Every time you had to treat a wound, you always did the full procedure. Given the chance, you would wash the dressing. This is war, not a clinic. You must give up unnecessary steps. Only life matters. Everything else can be sacrificed. Speaking of it, your technique looks like that of a professional. Have you learned it before? My father runs a medical group, so I know a thing or two about it. She sounds a bit hesitant, so I changed the topic. You must increase your speed. Remember which wounds can be fatal, which ones are not, and which ones can slightly hinder the movement of soldiers. I will design your training accordingly. Change your fighting style. It's too soft now. Never make a decision you may regret on the battlefield. Understood. Medics keep an army going. The corrupted will not choose their opponents, so you have an equal chance of being attacked just like other soldiers. It's important to keep yourself alive, but you can't fight. What should I do then? Run. If you can't beat them, just run as far as you can. Don't let the corrupted touch you. Of course, I'm not asking you to flee. You must learn the attacking styles and logic of the common corrupted. They can't think, but most ordinary machines will attack according to their default program logic. So there are patterns. I have outlined the general guidelines. Make sure you remember every response for different situations. I see. One more thing. If you can't save someone, just let them go. Know your limits and choose the plan with the highest returns. Give up one, you may be able to save 10 more. But if you are dead, you can't save anyone. I understand. The medic nods firmly. I see determination in her eyes. I like this look better than her blush. Thank you, Officer Yelena. Go. I will watch for you. I pat her on the shoulder and watch her go away. I spent the next month training the soldiers. They begin to get right on the right track. I don't have time for that medic, but she manages to catch up with the rest. Occasionally, I would patrol the camp after a day of training before curfew. Right now, I'm standing in a dorm room. Who did this? The bed in front of me is a mess. The water bottle on the bedside table originally had a few flowers inside, but it is knocked over with pink petals scattered everywhere. The belongings of the bed owner are ripped open. Dresses are thrown to the floor, among which is an eye-catching, gorgeous white dress. Of course they did it to Liv. Nobody makes a sound. All the girls stand in line with their heads down. I pick up the dress and feel very puzzled. Who made this mess on the bed of our princess? Someone sneers, but immediately shuts up when I look over. I toss the dress away and I feel a pain in the neck. This probably isn't the work of one or two, but a group bully. And I probably can guess why looking at the way this bed is made. The soldiers suddenly turn away, and I turn around to see the medic. She is still panting, sweat running down her cheeks. Seems like she just went for a jog. She takes off her cap, wipes her forehead, and puts it back on again. She looks me straight in the eye and continues walking in without any fear. I realize my guess is wrong again. Somehow I feel a little guilty watching her quietly walk to the bag and pick the dress up. Who did this? It is the first time I call her knave. She shakes her head without saying a word. She only packs up her belongings in silence. This attitude is only going to make the bully worse. I must do something. Whoever did this, you had guts to do it. But don't dare admit it. Get the fuck out of here before I find out myself. Ma'am, it's me. Sorry. I was looking for something before heading out. Are you kidding? I thought a bear attacked your bed. She turns to look at me and smiles. Her voice is very calm. Ma'am, I won't let this happen again. She looks at the soldiers standing nearby. They look away, ashamed. I figure out what she wants, to resolve the situation by herself without relying on my power. I respect her decision and turn to the rest of the soldiers. I hate these dirty tricks. Whoever did this, do not let me catch you again. And you, medic, pack up your pretty dress. There's no ball here. The only ones you can dance with are the enemies of humanity. Yes, ma'am. Her face flushes again, making me wonder whether she can take care of it on her own. I ask everyone to rest and walk off. But I don't go away. When I see the medic come out to throw the rubbish, I wave at her. Officer Yelena, what can I do for you? Show me your hands. Her face immediately turns even redder. What's the matter? She reluctantly reaches her arm out. I grab her hand and roll her sleeve up. The red needle marks throughout her pale skin. I can even see stitch marks covered under the gauze sponge. Ma'am. I saw the marks on her back of her hand, but didn't expect her to go so overboard. What are you doing? I was just practicing. She takes back her arm and pulls the sleeve down. I can find the spot faster now. I also know how to make it hurt less. I asked you to train hard, not on yourself. How smart, huh? Don't worry, ma'am. I only use glucose. It won't hurt my body. I found your advice very, very useful. I'm learning a lot faster from those targeted exercises. With better efficiency, I'll be able to. I too am a medic, but I just happen to become one. I'm no doctor or teacher or fighter. Maybe a better description. I can read from this kid's eyes that she wants to save lives. That's our greatest difference. I feel like she's saying something but doesn't know what to say. I'm never good at sympathizing, but at this moment I'm a bit emotional. Why would a kid like her step into the battlefield? In the end, all I do is pat her on the shoulder. Don't push yourself too hard. If you collapse before even going to the front line, all my effort will go down the drain. Understood. I will not fail you, ma'am. One more thing, ma'am. Sorry that I brought a dress into the camp. As long as it's not prohibited, nobody gets to decide what you bring to the army. No one has the right to criticize you as long as you're fulfilling your duty of a soldier. I meant every word I said. She smiles gratefully, but I feel like she's a little sad underneath. Thank you, ma'am. I will never do it again. I'm a soldier now. I shouldn't live in the past anymore. I found my place. I will take this responsibility. I don't know what she's talking about, but I can see her determination. I nod in approval. We're going to the front line soon. Now I'll give you your first order. Yes? Private Liv. We all know the blank 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 is Liv, right, chat? We all know. I call out her name with all seriousness. I mean, come on. Come on. Shocked, she quietly stands to attention and salutes. Her cap isn't worn properly, but she does not realize it. Yes, ma'am. Do not die. Well, I wonder how that happens. Wonder how well that'll go. Live on, medic. The peaceful time flies by. I've returned to the base near the central purification filter once again with my army. Most of the base has fallen. Our final defenses move closer to the CPF day by day. If the corrupted seizes any more land, the entire zone will fall. I have to abandon the CPF, and mankind will lose another important base. It's the first time for my soldiers to each face such a dire war. There are a lot of casualties. I have to maintain the morale with a great deal of motivation and rebuke. The soldiers charge forward, only to be crushed by numerous corrupted who are always relentless. They didn't even get to see what the war is like. Years of life, months of training, all destroyed in seconds. The first confrontation lasted over 10 hours. My stupid arm started functioning again. I bent my body in the trench and quickly moved towards a soldier. One of her arms is mutilated in an explosion. Take it, 8 o'clock. I shove my machine gun in her arms and order her to eliminate corrupted approaching. And then take out a hemostatic patch with my functioning hand just to give her emergency treatment. She gnashes her teeth and shoots. Knocked behind the recoil, I didn't hear the sound of bullets hitting the target. A stray bullet flies past my cheek. I feel like my artificial skin is burned, vital fluid coming out. After I finish patching her up, I take the gun back and bring it to my shoulder. A large machine falls to the ground, only to step away from our position, sending dust on my face. I look at my face and hear someone calling from medic from afar. Move over there, it's safe behind cover. I pick up the gun she dropped and give it back to her. Then look for where the voice came from. The zooming function on my vision module quickly helps me locate the source of the voice. It's that kid with the gloomy face. He's sitting under a wrecked building soaked in blood. My fluoroscope tells me he has a broken tailbone and cannot move on his own. 58 meters. No, that cover can't be used anymore. The next closest is 362 meters away. I decided to give up on him. Just as I reload my gun, I see a white-haired soldier leaping over the trench from the corner of my eye. Damn it, Liv. I quickly shout to her, but she was appointed to stay behind the trench to take care of the incapacitated soldiers. Get back here. You can't save him. She doesn't seem to hear me. Instead, she keeps running toward the storm of bullets. Get back now. It's an order. She looks back at me. She then pauses for a second, but a shell from another large corrupted explodes and knocks her away, tossing her into a pile of gravel. Damn it, I can still make it. I point at my gun at the corrupted approaching her. There is zero hesitation in her action. She quickly gets back on her feet and dashes out like a wild deer, heading toward the voice calling for help. I blow the corrupted into pieces, but more have located her. I can't help it. There's no way she can reach there. I can only watch her run rapidly across the battlefield. I never knew she could run so fast already. She goes around from the unsafe cover to the same route I anticipated. She is sprinting with all her strength, leaving gunfire and explosions behind. Somehow all the bullets are missing this frail medic. It's almost a miracle. She continues to run into the center of the battlefield. I swear I couldn't run that fast when I was still human. She soon reaches the soldier. My hearing module catches her desperate screams. She pulls him to a safer location before giving him emergency treatment. For one instant, I almost forget my duty. I just gaze at her as she does her job skillfully. Almost half as fast as me. She must have been doing a lot of training. I feel like I returned to many years ago. I remember the first prey I shot with my gun. The first time I punched a bully, knocking him to the ground. The first time I climbed on top of the snow mountain in my hometown, screaming and shouting. I think I smiled. I had never felt this so motivated in so long. It's a cry from our soul, unwilling to give up the impossible challenge. She quickly finishes wrapping his wounds and holds onto his hand, comforting him with a gentle smile. This part can be skipped. I must tell her later. I pick up the machine gun again and shoot down a few corrupted in front. My heart is beating incredibly fast from surging emotions. I climb on top of the trench, yelling, "We are the ground force. Nothing can stop us." I know the corrupted have no soul, no matter how vast their numbers are. The human soul, on the other hand, is the most beautiful creation that nature has ever made. We have no limit. We conquer the universe and take back Earth that belongs to us in the first place. The ground force pushes us as the soldiers roar in passion. An egret lands on top of the ruins in the sun, making a long and peaceful chirp. Alright. She once read about an article among the Golden Age works Yarha collected. I see the invisible bursts of gamma radiation from giant stars, converting into pure energy by their own mass. I see the flashes that flicker from the far side of the universe. Just like all the births and demise she is witnessing. The overwhelming gunfire pulls Liv back from temporary connection. In her blurred vision, she sees the blood-soaked dove standing on a thorn in front of her eyes. It is flapping its wings and chirping loudly as if chanting a battle anthem. The bird shakes off the crimson punishing virus from its wings, revealing the white plumes under. It has become an egret. Why? Liv is slightly confused. She can only vaguely grasp the information as her memory is trapped among the vast amount of data. Where do you come from? Why do you keep changing your look? It didn't answer, elegantly placed. The bird just walks around and sings. As it flaps its wings again, white feathers fall on Liv, throwing her into another data torrent. After hanging up the comms from the world government, I sit on the ground and let out a sigh. Officer Yelena? I heard the medic's voice behind me, but did not look back. Instead, I continued to gaze at the gunfire in the war zone. I hope I didn't disturb you. It's okay, sit down. I gestured her to take a seat. Have all the wounded soldiers been treated? Yeah, all done. The other two medics are recovering well. If time permits, they will all be fit for combat. We're running low on medical supplies, though. When can we expect them? Never. What? The HQ wants us to give up this base and retreat before sunrise. The medic's eyes open wide, unable to believe what she just heard. I see gunfire from afar reflected in her clear pupils. But there are still lots of soldiers outside the secure area of the defense. Are we going to leave them all behind? You've already done a great job, medic. These soldiers have given it all. Her kindness is invaluable to them. All soldiers have developed trust in her. Some would even scream her name on the brink of death. She's made quite a name for herself with her fearlessness, along with her signature smile. My reprimand didn't work. She's already mastered the skill to treat soldiers while comforting them, which is not a bad thing. These soldiers are good at it all. Her kindness is valuable to them. I can't. Why the rush? Can't we wait for the other soldiers to retreat first? We tried so hard to save them. The HQ always makes the most irrational decision. We need to stop before it's too late. But I've been working so hard these days, Her voice begins to tremble with sobs. But she soon realizes it's inappropriate to talk like this. She wipes her eyes and tries to calm herself. There's a dead silence. Moments later, she whispers to herself, "What's the point of this war? Did it really save those lives?" It's too early to doubt it. You'll have more questions like this in the future, only more painful. I used to ask myself over and over again, what was the point of the war? Will humanity win? Can the punishing virus truly be defeated? Nobody has the answer. Maybe mankind has a 1 in a billion chance to win, but that's what we're fighting for. It's like, the chance for humans to emerge on Earth was extremely slim to begin with, right? But since we're already here as a result of that miracle, why don't we believe that mankind will also grasp the similarly slim chance to defeat the punishing virus? With tears still on her face, the medic smiles. Yes, you're right. I'll continue to fight even for a 1 in a billion chance. Yarha once said, "We are just an advanced breed of primates on a minor planet orbiting around a very average star, in the outer suburb of one among 100 billion galaxies." What? Who? The soldier asking me for help on the first day we arrived on the front line, remember? Oh, gloomy face. Did you chat with them during the treatment? We don't have enough supplies. Sometimes we couldn't give them general anesthesia during surgery. Talking to them can distract them from the pain. Lena loves desserts, so I often ask her to think of her favorite ones. It works well. Hayami has a little brother who she still misses badly. She can endure any pain if we talk about her family. I hope she can go home one day. Yarha seems to be really into science. He always talks about it when he's nervous. The medic talks about every patient of hers like they're her best friends. She'll make a great doctor. He seems to always be pessimistic. He once told me that perhaps the fate of humanity was to embrace the doomsday and be destroyed. I couldn't answer him back then, for I was so lost, but your words made me start thinking of my duty, Officer Yelena. No matter how I ended up here, as long as I can do my little part and help others, I'll be very happy already. You always give me surprises, medic. Huh? Your greatest strength is the ability to spread hope in a world of despair. She flushes once again at my frankness. Somehow I feel like her red face isn't all that frail anymore. Someone once saved my life. I would be ashamed if I wasted away. And it was your guidance that helped me find the meaning of my life. If I can pass on this faith, my life and that person's life will be also continued on this land. Allow me to express my gratitude once again. Thank you, ma'am. The reflection from gunfire from afar flickers on her face. She closes her eyes and mumbles, as if making a prayer to the battlefield. I will do anything as long as I can help them. Please let me do just a little more. I couldn't catch her last word, but it sounds like mother. Speaking of it, I know a way to quickly make your wish come true. What is it? I raise my steel arm and half-jokingly say, "You can swap into this." Can I? Of course not. Back in my hometown, I could fight a barehanded. I'm sorry. Actually, I don't know. The world government should have made a lot of constructs now, but apparently they can't be used yet. I'm just an experiment. I twist my right arm. It makes a horrifying clink and turns over. The man turns pale, and I feel like she's gonna rush over to fix my arm, so I quickly twist it back into the correct position. She wants to touch my arm, but takes her hand back after seeing the scratch marks on it. Does it hurt? The pain module can be turned off, but I hate it because, I don't feel like a human anymore. It's like I'm just a running machine. How did they modify you? I try to recall, but cannot find any good memory, so I give her an obscure answer. The pain is worse than local anesthesia. In fact, I cannot use anesthesia at all in the surgery. It'd make my mind unstable. There's nothing good about it. I only did it because there was no other way. The best vessel of the human soul is still the human body. It's nature's selection. Extracting the soul and putting it elsewhere will inevitably change its shape. It takes a lot more effort to barely maintain the soul's original form. Is that so? I'm sorry, man. It must be difficult. But compared to the human body, the power it brings is a lot more in a war. We don't have much of a choice in this age. Thank you. No matter what, I will not fail you. It's getting late. Time to go back. We need to evacuate before dawn. There's not much time left. She also gets back on her feet. Not sure how I feel about retreating, though. Should I even be relieved? I return to the camp and announce the decision, but during the roll call, I am told we have one soldier missing. It's Yarha. I saw him go out on crutches a few hours ago. I thought he was going to the John. Have you searched everywhere? I try to hold my rage. Crowds, deserters, dropping the ball at the most crucial times are among the things I hate the most. We did, man. We searched the area of defense, but couldn't find him anywhere. Forget about him. All teams will file in and move out. If anyone sees that deserter on the way, unless he can give me a good satisfactory answer, shoot him on the spot. Before the soldier ran away, I hear another. Man, Medic Liv has also gone missing. We don't have time. A large number of corrupted are heading this way. They're just 8 kilometers away. Doesn't matter. All teams speed up. Prepare to retreat. I know what she's up to, but how can she be so foolish? I have mixed feeling. Anger, resentment, reluctance. But there's an army waiting for me. I cannot stop here. 15 minutes later, we are already standing outside the camp. I take a last look at the battlefield behind, but can still not get over it. Move out. As I order, the ground force retreats from base 68, making the complete loss of CPF 68.
I'll protect everyone.
Well. Jeez. I didn't realize this was like a coding. Yeah, there's a secret goal here. What is it? Do you know? Also, Saiki. No, I did not figure it out. Oh, okay. Chat, you guys can keep yourselves entertained. You know that, right?
I'm fine.
I pressed dodge, damn it.
I'll do my best. Now perish.
Can't do shit now, can you, bitch?
I hope I didn't drag everyone down.
Yep, all the soldiers in the back. I'll do it on a second run. The next morning, all the remaining soldiers of Base 68 safely arrived in the nearest depot. I risked being demoted and gave my commander a guarantee to put together a construct army towards Base 68. I told them we left a lot of supplies that need to be retrieved. There might also be survivors who didn't manage to retreat in time. I honestly don't believe it myself. What creature can survive a Legion corrupted for one night on a deserted battlefield? If there is a miracle, no matter how late, I would like to witness it. I gesture to the soldier to keep moving. Push forward. The scatter team continues to move forward. Suddenly, a soldier holding a detector stops in front of suspicion. Wait, isn't this area already abandoned? Why are there so many life signals? I quickly take over his detector. It barks louder as I walk forward. I walk to our mostly collapsed wall and pull the scrap door open. The sun shines in the cramped space. Dozens of wounded soldiers line the exhausted room. Some have lost limbs or suffered great trauma. Some are already showing signs of infection as the CPF stop functioning, but they're all alive. Reporting to HQ, we found the steel conscious soldiers returns to me. A ray of sunlight shines upon their faces. I see hope in their eyes. It's real. Someone has come for us. Gloomy Face is also here. He slumps on the ground ahead. He's still holding a half-empty bottle of hemostatic potion. He's probably helping to treat the other soldiers. The medic huddles among the soldiers. She's dead quiet. I can't even tell if she's still alive. She's alive. He makes that annoying smile again. Help them. Hurry. Roger that. One heavily wounded medic and 35 treated soldiers. Please send in the medical unit ASAP. They were all treated by this one medic? Quick, we have to save her. The construct soldiers immediately start moving. I ask them to move out those with less severe injuries first. Leave her alone for now. She's got multiple compounded fractures. She seems to have heard me as her eyelashes move slightly. I quickly squat next to her. Officer Yelena, is that you? You're a fool. This is a serious violation of discipline. She barely pulls a smile. Her eyes are still closed. It's so good to have you here. She becomes silent again, but I can still detect her life signals. I stand up again and notice Gloomy Face on his feet already, holding crutches. I walk up straight to him and pull him out of the door. Why did you run? Why did you run? He looks away and his lips start to tremble. I already know the answer. Or at least his collar, he stumbles. Then why did you let her save your life? Aren't you ashamed? I'm sorry. This is a war. It doesn't need your apology. I want to keep my promise and shoot him. He starts to sob like a coward, his head buried between his shoulders. He then starts to stammer with great determination. Please execute me. I'm a deserter. I would have died back there if not for her. I will take responsibility. I don't want to run again. I close my eyes and inhale a deep breath. All deserters will be expunged from the army and must never enter any jurisdiction of the world government. Now get lost before you piss me off further. Why? She risked her life saving you twice. I respect her decision as a medic. I watch him burst into tears apathetically. Sorry, I'm so sorry. He clumsily bends down to pick up his crutches. After getting back to his feet, he wipes his face and looks at me in the eyes for the first time. I will live on. She saved my life. I'm a coward, but the words she told me gave me the courage to live on. He limps out, mumbling to himself. Hey, Gloomy Face. What did she say to you? When she was treating me, she said... He tries to recite every word she said last night. Humanity was bred from such destruction. Remember the question you asked me? Should we humans embrace our destiny of destruction? I thought about it for a long time. I am just as lost as you with no place to go back to, and I don't know where to go either. I'm just drifting about in the doomsday. But when I was looking at the stars tonight, I suddenly understood. Humanity was bred from such destruction. We are all unique. No matter how hard life treats you, you will have your own way to shine. There is always hope as long as we are alive. So my answer is, please try your best to live every day to the fullest. I may not have a home to go back to, but the other soldiers still do. The things and people they still love are waiting for them. That was her answer. It all makes sense. How could I not understand? Didn't she give me hope when she first stepped on the battlefield? When she reaches out to every badly wounded soldier, isn't she spreading her faith? When I pulled the door open, I saw the light on the faces of those soldiers. It was their resurrection. No matter what vessel holds her soul, her spirit cannot be concealed. She is a light that shines in the darkness, a spark in this dark and desperate age. I watched him leave. An egret lands on top of the ruins under the sun, making a long and peaceful chirp. The hope she gave me is still passed down to the troops I lead. Most of the soldiers she rescued managed to survive, and they continue to follow me. Later on, the world government begins to implement construct technologies on a large scale and establish a formal construct armies that are reported to the world government directly. I have been assigned to the task force. I never met her again, but I heard that she has also become a construct in the end. I still talk about her in front of the rookies, but this time, she is still alive and fighting for mankind somewhere in this world. As the punishing virus continued to evolve, mankind faced even greater challenges. I have to admit, but when my squad was sent to the Puglia Forest Park ruins, the battle was the most difficult one I've ever fought. Each time after my squad suffered the greatest loss from the hetero creatures, I would be reassigned to another squad that had lost their captain. The cycle continued indefinitely. When my body finally failed to function, I was overwhelmed by hetero sapiens. Somehow I started to miss that medic in my blurred mind. It's been too long, and I have fought too many battles. I feel like I have seen her, but she's nothing like what I remember. Liv? I try to endure the agonizing pain and call her the name. It's slightly comforting to know that at least I'm not quoting her name as one of my deceased soldiers. But not much better, I think I'm dying. She is right above me, glowing like a goddess that descends from the sky. I can see a compassionate smile with a hint of sadness on her face, just like one of those symbolic statues in churches. She gazes up and down and gazes upon me like a sacred mother looking at her newborn, so devout, loving, and kind. I feel a little bit confused. Is that her or an angel I'm seeing because I'm dying? She gently waves her scepter. A soothing wave flows over my mind, drawing away the pain, as well as the raging, desperate scream from my soldiers. I no longer feel desperate or painful. If this is what death is like, I must thank God for making it so peaceful, though I have never seen him. If you are an angel, please save my soldiers too, and that medic. Bless her so that she can survive. I mutter to myself as I think of my soldiers, those brave poor souls. The scenes of their deaths gradually fade into my vision. I feel like I return to my hometown, surrounded by family and friends. We drink and build a bonfire on the snow while fending off wild bears from the forest. I close my eyes and indulge myself in deep, comforting dreams with peace of mind. Wow. That's something, huh? That is something. So that's Liv's old teacher. I see. Ugh. Chunkus, you should have like all your interludes should be unlocked with story now. Right? So anything that you can do, you'll be given it the ability to do. I will not leave you comfortless. I will come for you along with the others. She longs for the arrival of immortality. Yep, this update changed that. She is awakened by the hazy voices in her mind. My spirit hath rejoiced in God my Savior. I don't even want to read that line. Among thousands of voices, an affable female has grasped her. It has started its journey long before Earth even formed. The next moment, it changes to a male voice, chanting some strange but familiar lines among the data torrent. I can see the invisible microwave glow of the background radiation left over from the Big Bang. I see stars drifting aimlessly in hundreds of kilometers per second, and the space-time curving around them. I can even see millions of years in the future. A blue twinkle will blow up one day, sterilizing any nearby solar systems in an apocalypse that makes the wrath of the human gods seem pitiful in comparison. Ooh, it's done. It's done. The voice is calling me, but she cannot recall where it is from. This is the path of the shepherd. One day your loved ones will bid you farewell. They will be entangled and wounded by thorns around them. Their blood shall pour upon the spikes. They'll tell you their path is right before their death. The surreal but loving voices grasp your heart. She feels something important is leaving. What is it? It will lead you to faraway places, but you cannot stop. Till one day we meet again, then you shall be crowned by our Lord. On the land, shed by your blood, flowers will grow, outlasting the thorns by far more. Who is that? Before she can seize the fading thought, another voice has replaced the words, pulled her into the abyss of the punishing red tide. Like a living hell, the terrible suffering of all the living creatures of Earth are displayed on her mind. If the Red Slayer thinks, he slays. Or if the slain is think, he is slain. They know not well the subtle ways. I will keep and pass and turn again. The distant and the forgotten fall live like a shadow. Black tears roll down Liv's cheeks, falling into the red tide underneath. She walks among the stars and listens to everyone's dreams. The infinite pain and hesitation are condensed in her body, among which are some familiar voices, but there are too many of them, shouting, screaming, crying, and deafening. But they cannot stop her. She continues to wander on the desolate land, wielding her scepter. The egret is still pecking the thorns from under her feet, but it can no longer catch her attention. Shadow and sunlight are the same. The vanished gods to me appear, and the one to me is shame and fame. She is ending the suffering of countless people with every step she takes. Scavengers who spent their lives in vagrancy and devoured by the red tide. Medics who left their homes on the battlefield. Soldiers who lost their ways. Father gave her the flower seeds, but mother was her Hestia. She taught her how to sow the seeds and irrigate with her blood. Hestia turned into soil in the end, telling her to keep going on her path. The despair that Liv sees in the eyes of all the people she has ever met has accumulated into the decades of years of illusions. She reaches out to every one of them. This time she holds their hands. In the void space, someone seems to be calling for that familiar name. But who is that? The next instant, data explodes in the unlimited visions of her mind, but she can still not grasp that familiar feeling. They reckon ill who leave me out. When they fly, I am the wings. I am the doubter in the doubt. Her consciousness is divided into thousands of pieces. They absorb all the punishing virus in her mind, and she can still connect to, which then forms the sea of data. An even clearer voice is pushing her. Among a great menagerie of subatomic particles, she sees windless seas, vast deserts, planets crashing into each other, their cosmic dust devouring all. Death turns into eternal cosmic rays. In the endless cycle of destruction and reincarnation, a voice enters her mind, enfolding and telling her, "You are the chosen one." She weeps for sorrow of everything, but smiles because she has the power to cure it all. In the vast amount of data, something originally was part of her seems to have disappeared into the Crimson Sea. She walks in the desperate life of everyone and takes away the punishing virus, along with their sorrow and resentment. Each second feels like a million years. She watches buildings rise and fall, the sun rise and set. The lives of thousands of constructs fly past her mind in an instant. She witnesses the red nightmare fade away, replaced by blue sky and white clouds. Their future has no punishing virus, nor does she need to be there. Then, from all the gaping tombs, there rises gradually an efflorescence, at first frail and timid like stream, then white and virginal, and more tufty, more and more tall, plentiful, and marvelous. Little by little, irresistibly invading all things, it transforms the graveyard into a sort of fairy-like and nuptial garden, over which rises the first rays of dawn. The dew glitters, the flowers open their blooms, and the wind murmurs in the leaves. The bees hum, the birds wake to flood the air with the first raptures of their hymns of song into life. In that world, there are no deceased lives, regretful features, or beautiful hatred. I am the hymn the Brahmin sings. The strong gods pine for my abode, and pine in vain of sacred seven. But thou, meeker lover of the good, find me and turn thy back on heaven. Oh, wow. Countless spikes rise from the Crimson Sea and pierce through the limping egret that has followed Liv. The white bird screeches, blood flowing from its chest. It sings the most euphonious and mournful dying song, like a nightingale that crimsons the rose with its heart's blood. As the egret struggles, the blood-soaked plumes begin to fall. Moments later, the egret loses all of its plumes. From the tip of a thorn, a swift raven is reborn. The raven hovers in the air, chirping loudly. It flaps its wings to create a vortex in the red tide, its feathers flying in the sky. The raven feathers pull Liv from the beautiful garden into another data torrent. She finds herself standing in the night. The raven continues to fly forward, pausing every now and then as it is guiding Liv along. It stops at a bench at the end of the corridor. She cannot help but follow the raven until she sees someone sitting on the bench. Hello? What are you doing here? Hello, I'm looking for someone very important to me. Maybe she has lost her way. I see. If you're worried, why don't you try to look for her? It doesn't work. That's why I'm worried. She has to find her own direction. Are you worried that she may not come back? I'm worried that she cannot make a choice that reflects what she really wants. I'm afraid she may end up going in the wrong direction, which contradicts her will. We are very regretful now, because there are lots of things we haven't told her yet. Liv is touched by the emotion hidden under the human's peaceful look. She cannot help but start asking, "What kind of person are you looking for? I'd like to help if I could." The human only gazes at her, neither accepting nor rejecting the offer. Soon the human stands up. The hovering raven lands on the shoulder. If you wish to know. The human walks forward, guiding Liv along. The views around them have also changed. Yo, while this plays, chat, someone in chat, go real quickly, find out how to do Liv's hidden story. If you can. Actually, I should be able to pull it up real quick. It's a clean and tidy meeting room. Pale sunlight shines through the windows. There is no warmth within. A young girl and a young man stand in the center of the room. They look lost. Everything looks like old photos, quiet and melancholic. This is where we met. She made a shy self-introduction. We founded our squad. I didn't find her here. So there are 4 members in your squad. It's amazing how fate brought you together. Liv imagines the shy person was originally here. It must be a pleasant experience meeting her and her important ones. Was she anxious or looking forward to it? But now there are only 2 members left. A surge of sadness strikes Liv. The human continues walking forward. Now they're standing in a ruin. The girl and the young man she just saw are now standing with stern looks, confronting a short-haired, disdainful female. There are strands of white hair on the ground. It seems someone was shielding the human behind. But nobody is there now. This is our first time taking part in a large-scale mission. Did you have an argument with someone? We met her former commandant. You mean that short-haired lady? No matter what, I don't think it's appropriate to gauge an argument with allies during a mission. Perhaps they had a complicated past. She never talked about it. I think she likes to take things on her own shoulders. But you mentioned that she was shy on your first meet. Now that she could stand out to face the person she didn't want to, maybe she's quite brave too. This is where we formed a true team, but I couldn't find her here either. The black-haired girl squats on the ground in the deserted shopping mall, holding a frog doll. She looks up slightly low-spirited. It looks like someone was heading over the frog doll to her. But there is only a dirty sheep doll left on the ground now. She picked up her favorite toy here. Did she? That's a little childish. I wonder if she can live up to the duty of a soldier. She's not here either. The next scene is the high-rise metropolis. The black-haired girl and the young man are standing side by side, with their hands reaching out. The human also reveals the hand. On the back of all the hands are marker scribbles. It takes some time for Liv to recognize the pattern as a smiley face, but with one part missing. The human and the raven take their time, take her through many places, with the former explaining to her what happened there. The doll, the smiley face on the hands, the Christmas trees with strange decorations, and many other things. All those scenes in the past are restored, but they're still missing a piece. I get it. I understand what they're doing. They're literally walking us through Liv's life up to this point. From what the human said, Liv is able to put together the image of a lost girl. She is frail and naive. She can be very brave, but often gets sentimental. I think now I have a better understanding of this person you are looking for. She always seems to try and make everyone happy, but often ignores herself. From what you have told me, I can feel that she really cherishes this team and treats it with great care. She must fear losing any member of the team, but she would never reveal this emotion. Instead, she would take their hands and encourage them. If a teammate is hurt, she will be greatly saddened and blame herself. But what if she gets hurt herself? Will the other people be tired of her pushing herself too hard? She finds her own happiness in other people's happiness. Is that a good thing or a bad thing for her? The human only shakes her head in silence. Just like what you said. She has a soft heart, but has never shown any fear on the battlefield. As the commandant myself, I was protected by her numerous times. She cherishes everybody that fights by her side. And every member of the team knows that. In every battle, we are responsible for the well-being of one another. This time, next time, every time. We always give our best to survive the battle and reunite. She is always concerned about the team's emotions, but never talks about her own sadness. Despite knowing the situation better than anyone else, she never brings negative emotions to us, but inspires us with some words instead. She is our treasure. That's why I hope she can grow well, even when I'm away. I'll be with her no matter what she becomes or what decision she makes. But if she is lost, I will do everything I can to find her. If she is hurt, no matter where she is, I will be there to protect her. That's why I'm worried. If she is lost and we can't find her, I don't know if she can find the way that she wants to take. I see. I understand. She must be very important to you. I'll help you find her. Before that, can I ask you one more question? What is it? If you ever find her, what do you want to tell her? I hope she can have her wish come true. For the first time, the human smiles, but with great grief. Making other wishes come true, doesn't that mean you have to give up on your own? Back to us. Don't put it all on yourself. Liv seems to have seen some disjointed but familiar scenes. Shocked by the dissonance, Liv's eyes widen. She is deeply confused. That person, who is she? It's you, Liv. Liv, you made many wishes come true for Grey Raven. For your friends, and for all the humans on Earth. Now can you listen to your own voice for once? Can you hear it? Don't hurt her anymore. Let her go. Give her back. The familiar voices get louder. Are they calling her? The white-haired girl is struck by confusion. Tears well up in her eyes like sparkles on the ocean, then roll down her cheeks. The white wings and dress disappear as she returns to her original look. Commandant, everybody. She can hear it. Give Liv back to us. This is Lucia. The black-haired girl is like her elder sister who is always there to protect her. Despite the heavy burden of destiny she has to carry, she never stopped venturing forward. Don't decide for us. Don't put it all on yourself. Lee. He's not good at expressing himself, but deep in his heart, he cares about everybody more than anyone else. He always does things for us without telling anyone. That person is you, Liv. It's the Commandant. The human who never hesitates to help her whenever she is in need. Brilliant as the sun and calm as the moon. This person can be reckless at times, but always creates a road for everyone in crisis. At this very moment, she feels their thoughts, resentments, and pain, all caused by the loss of her. The ravens fly away and the human starts to disappear. She reaches out her hand but cannot grab anything. There's only darkness. Young mistress, why did you stop? Please save me. Save those who were devoured by the red tide. Is that Callie? No, Callie would never say that. Unknown data cluster. What are you doing, medic? The death of those soldiers would have been nothing if you stop right now. How could you do this to them? Officer wouldn't define their death as a sacrifice for nothing. For the good of humanity, you have to save them, no matter who you are. This is never the way to make everyone happy. Never. The Commandant showed me a better solution than this, and I can definitely do that. My god, dude. That one's hard to attack. What would you get down here? Hey, maybe give me a red ping game. Red ping. Thank you. That's sweet. Countless memories of her own flood in. She remembers now. She is Liv. Callie held her hands and watched her grow up. Officer Yelena showed her the direction of her life. Grey Raven formed a bond with her. Come back, Liv. Lady Liv. Liv, who did it? Private Liv. Liv, is that you? The name cannot be any clearer now. It's her name. He who is taken away from you into heaven will come again in the same way you saw him go into heaven. I see the flashes that flash from the far side of the universe long before Earth had even formed. The blue twinkle will blow up one day, sterilizing any nearby solar systems with an apocalypse that makes the wrath of the human gob seem pitiful by comparison. It will lead you to faraway places, but cannot stop till one day we meet again, Liv. I have always been with you. Liv starts to recognize the owners of these voices. The distortion caused by the punishing virus had put together the disjointed words found in the various memory data and guided her to an unknown space. These voices, on the other hand, pulled her back onto the real path. She's no longer the girl with no home to go back to. Many people are waiting for her. Liv's heart starts to beat faster as she walks toward in the darkness. She hears a kind female voice as she walks past the withered honeysuckles. I believe young mistress must have become the person she always wanted to be. Thank you, Callie. I was lucky to have you watch me grow up. Sorry that I gave up my dream, but I have to become the person I always wanted to be. Don't worry, Callie. Liv wipes her eyes. Callie, I miss you. She pauses for her a few seconds, then takes a deep bow into the wall before moving on. She keeps walking. A damaged white dress hangs on a small battle ruin. That white dress of mine. You've always liked it, haven't you? I can tell. You can have it. Sis, sorry that I couldn't take good care of your gift, even now. I hope you're having a good time with brother, mother, and father. I have earned my happiness with my own effort. I'll try to grasp the possibility of that future, and I hope you will too. Liv keeps walking, leaving the white dress behind. She sees the operating table where she had the construct surgery. There's nothing good about it. I only did it because there was no other way. Officer Yelena, in the end, I didn't listen to your advice. But I promise I will keep my soul's shape. The Grey Raven Lounge is just ahead. It doesn't work. That's why I'm worried. She has to find her own direction. Commandant, I will find the way back. Lucia Lee, I promise. Determined, Liv takes a deep breath and walks forward. The illusions are wrapped like canvases behind. The punishing virus continues to pull her from the darkness. With every step she takes, the pain in her mind gets more intense as she was walking on knives. Shadow and sunlight are the same. The vanished gods to me appear. The apathetic voice from the darkness once again lures her to the red tide and devour herself. It tells her the best ending will be to dissolve in the ultimate ascension network and merge it into the universe. But she will not. She's going to the real world. The world with devoted prayers, brilliant stars, selfless battles, and all beautiful things. The world where her friends are calling her name. She sees a glow at the end of the darkness. In a place farther away, everyone is standing there waiting for her. This redemption is no longer achieved through sacrifice. She will grasp the future with her own hands, the future where everyone is. The pain intensifies as she draws closer to the light. The data torrent almost washes her away. She tries to reach her hand out. Tears seem to slide out of her eyes. The pain almost rips her apart, preventing her from breaking away. Her fingertips have transcended the ocean surface, the graveyard, and gravity. Heading to the light, to all hope that remains is the deepest yearning within, to where she began. As if a pair of hands grabbed her between her breasts, the punishing tide has receded. The shattered data in her mind is glowing like stars. She's guided to a brilliant and warm light, soft as water. She sees an illusion of herself. All the sorrow is dissolved into merciful eyes. There is no pain, only calm and peace. She exists at every point in this vast universe simultaneously, like a boundless mist that fills the cosmos. The silver desert of stellar sand grains burns within her, giving a light glow. Liv wipes her tears and smiles. Thank you, but I should go. The phantom smiles and hugs Liv into her arms. They have merged together. Liv's body is infused with infinite strength. The next instant, countless bluebirds break free from the red tide. They hover perpetually and harmoniously down the confines of the horizon. Birds are innumerable to the point of appearing to be the breath of the sky. She opens her eyes among the bluebirds. They are no longer occupied by pain and mercy, but are filled with care and courage. She sees a pair of hands reaching for her, pulling her away from the dream. She hears a familiar voice. She also reaches out to that person. Oh, wow. Wow. Let's go unlock the hidden, then we'll talk about my thoughts.
I'll protect everyone.
Alright. Talk to Cecile, left country, and then the medic next to him. Who? Left construct in the first and epiphany. Then the medic next to him. I don't see this. Is it this one? Well, it wasn't that. I'm not sure if the order exactly matters, but knowing how interlude hidden stories are locked, it possibly does.
I'll protect everyone.
Right. There. Okay. Cecile. Then the medic next to him. Afterward, continue on the mission until you reach Hayami. Talk to her, backtrack to the starting area, move all the way to the back to the small camp with the two crouching. Alright. Continue until you reach Hayami. Then navigate all the way back. Didn't realize you can move bodies. Also, now we need to go back to the other constructs. All right. Bro, narwhal? So we have to save all 4 of these guys. Okay.
I'll protect everyone. I'm fine.
All right, that should be good then, right?
I hope I didn't drag everyone down.
Oh my god, Liv is too sweet for this fucking world. Awesome, Saiki. That didn't unlock it. Okay. Until you reach Jaime. Talk to her and backtrack all the way back to the small campfire with the two crouching. I did that! How do you do this? Guys, I might have to Google this. Yeah, Bluebird is crazy. Bro, can't someone make it like 3 minutes? Follow the exact order. Now I'm gonna have to edit this out of the video. Right? Now I actually have to open up the software and cut it out. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did that. Then Jaime. Right. Oh, play her the last stage once again. Oh, okay. It'll show you a different cutscene. Got it. Yeah, we read all this though. Why are you so hard to dodge? Moving on. Pain and suffering. We're not done. This is Empy's interlude. Oh, this is different. That is me. Is it done now? That was it? Yeah. Okay. I am skimming this. I'm just gonna cut that part out of the video, right? The whole going through the guide part. You know. Or maybe I won't. I don't know yet. But I already read this all out once. So right there where she's talking about her sister. Bro, her sister's a bitch. I'm not kidding when I say that I'd probably hang her entire family. Right? Her family deserves to be hanged for what they've done to her. Father, stepmother, doesn't matter. Destroy them. You didn't know about this. You really didn't, Saiki? But yeah, Muramasa, it was bad, right? It treated me bad. Like, it didn't treat, well, it's not that it treated me bad, right? It's that, it was depressing. It was genuinely depressing. What about your standout point? What were your standout points? Let's talk about them after the interlude. Okay? And then I'll bring up my standout points. I've already pieced together exactly where the interlude happens. I don't think there's anything different there. Poor Liv. There wasn't anything different. We can cut that out. Yeah, okay, there's the hidden story. The prophecy of Simonian. Liv backshot solely. Any shot of Liv is a good shot, Muramasa. Any shot of Liv is a good shot. Yarha encountered a couple of corrupted during his escape. He rolled down some rocks and fell into a ruin. He had a blackout. After his ears stopped ringing, he began to moan in pain. For one moment, he thought he was already dead. Would it be better to die from falling as a deserter than dying on the battlefield as a hero? He didn't know. While unconscious, he feels someone grabbing his shoulders and pulling his body. Still dizzy, Yarha opens his eyes and sees a white figure. She looks like an innocent white soul on the battlefield. I'm dead. I'm going to die. He starts to sob, knowing that he'll never see the stars again. Fear has taken hold of him. Don't worry. Relax. Liv, is that you? It's me, Yarha. I need you to relax. I've compressed your wound. Next, I'm going to wrap it. I defected. Am I going to die here? You're not going to die here, soldier. Yarha is still dizzy, but he has heard her reply, as well as the unique, crisp, and heavy footsteps of the corrupted. He asks himself if he still wants to live. But what can he possibly do even if he does? What punishment awaits him after he returns to the army as a deserter? Is a coward like him worthy to live on? Yarha's body is getting heavy. His mind turns numb. Despair has taken over the fear of death. He fumbles around, finally pulling out his gun. I have one last bullet in my gun. He took the gun with him and fired at the corrupted on his way, but none of the bullets landed, so he could only keep running. I kept it for myself. You should go. Yarha tries to raise his hand, but he can't even lift the gun due to fear and injury. It falls to the side. A cold liquid is washing his painful body. Liv didn't leave, but kept giving him emergency treatment instead. The last bullet should be kept for an enemy, not yourself. Huh. What can I do with just one bullet? No comment. Alright, the wound on your head isn't too bad, but don't move your legs too much. The medic finishes treating his wounds. She kneels next to him, looking him in the eye. You aren't the only one injured here. I will not leave you behind. Yarha realizes there are other wounded soldiers laying next to him. The medic has saved them all. As for the approaching corrupted, she puts a gun back into Yarha's hand. Its model is Domestic Gardener M62. Oh my god. We're going to talk about this in a second. It is already significantly damaged. Its action module is located right behind the panel on its chest. If the module is shot, all its action logic will be disabled. It won't attract to any other corrupted either. Are you asking me to shoot it? If you still want to keep going, that's the only way. Yarha is still trembling, but he doesn't have much time to hesitate. He takes a deep breath, slowly lifts his gun, and tries to focus on it. Aim, fire. Sparks come out of the corrupted's chest as it stumbles. Its mechanical body begins to tremble fiercely, and all its limbs are still wiggling abnormally. After what feels like a century, it finally waddles in another direction. Cold sweat races down Yarha's head, but he feels relieved inside. It's the first time he saw the crisis entirely on his own. He turns to the medic. The white-haired girl makes a relieved smile. Yarha's vision blurs. His pale smile disappears as Yarha's mind is pulled back from the cold reality. He stares at the screen. Wait, that's Yarha? A pure white frame is slowly spinning around on the holographic screen. There's a lot of data flowing next to it. Yarha lifts his hand and swipes the data with a finger, sending them into the icon of a file. He then opens Corona's internal comms channels. He taps send, just like how he lightly pulled on the trigger back then. Motherfucker went to go and work for Corona. Bro, fuck that guy. I'll say it. Liv is best girl, chat. You cannot argue that, okay? You can pretend that she's not best girl, but the truth of the matter is, you're fucking wrong. Okay?